The concern with the markets is that a lot of the good news about possible cuts has been priced in at the end of last year. So what will be the main driver for markets?
Well, understanding how far and for how long this narrative of immaculate disinflation can run is likely going to be driver for markets and risk sentiment for this year. So if we think about the Fed, we can move on to ECB in a bit, but if we think about the Fed, the December pivot essentially greenlit markets to run away with this immaculate disinflation narrative. We think inflation will fall. In fact, at some point in the US, we think that it could get to targets towards the end of this year. But we think that inflation will then rebound because of persistent wage pressure. But markets can only focus on one thing at a time. And evidence of inflation rebound is not going to be clear anytime soon, maybe not in the next 6 months or so, which is why we think that there's room and runway for this immaculate disinflation narrative to run, which is why momentum can continue for a while before we think about kind of resetting to fundamentals.
But so, wait, what does this mean? That actually the Fed and other central banks will be very careful in cutting in case then they have to hike, which frankly would hurt their credibility? Or does it mean that we're going to just get less cuts than's priced in the markets?
We think that we're going to get less cuts than what's priced in the market, especially in the case of the Fed. And we also think that we're going to get the first cut later than what market seems to be hoping for. I mean, today is the ECB day. We'll see if President Lagarde pushes back again on the rate cut timing that currently is looking to start in April. You know, like we still see kind of persistency in terms of the tight labor market, low productivity. Maybe they want to wait until the spring wage negotiation to be comfortable that inflation is indeed falling down durably, and that actually puts it kind of close to the summertime, which is the indication she has recently given out.